Welcome to Jollof and Fiction, home of African literature and stories, the kind that warm your hearts like a fresh pot of jollof. Today, you're tuning into a recorded session of our online book discussion, so sit back, relax, and join the conversation.
And what was your strongest emotion while reading this book? Which emotion lasted all through? I can guess, but I would love to hear from everyone. Amy, please.
Good evening, everyone. Please, I hope you can hear me. My strongest emotion was surprise, shock, because I didn't live in that time, so I did not know what happened. But reading real life experience from that short article, kind of like I was really surprised, and I wanted to do more research, but I've been having a lot of I've been stressed.
Thank you. It was for me as well, actually. Shock. That was mine as well. Anita, you can go ahead and speak now.
Okay, so for me, the strongest feeling I had while reading the entire piece was like sadness. I wasn't so surprised because I had heard of the whole Ghana must go thing. I got some details from my dad, even though it wasn't a lot. But like reading the story of this family, like they didn't even catch a break. Like 1 second, your son, your brother is dead. The next second, you're being pulled away from your dad. Your mom is dying. Like it just felt so sad to experience so much loss so young and live with it for so long just felt so heartbreaking. So that was like my major emotion throughout everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so easy to grow numb to these stories and just count them as optics. 175 kidnapped from Kaduna. Oh no, and you're temporarily grieved, stricken, then you just move on the very next second until you actually talk with someone that experienced these things, and it brings it home to you so much so that you no words, literally. Sadness just about sums it up. Blessing, please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I hope you can hear me. Okay. So, when I started reading the book, the article, I started and I was like, okay. And then there was a sharp turn that was not expected. I was shocked at first because I hadn't heard anything about this happening in Nigeria. And then it brought back a memory of a particular movie I watched about a Rwandan genocide that happened. And then I was so like I finished the book, the article, and then I was looking at the wall like, what? What just happened? Like I was sad, I was hurt, and then I asked myself, how was this girl able to live life like the trauma of losing 3 people within a very short period at a young age? That is really, really, that is heartbreaking. And then I want to read from, okay, there was a paragraph that really stuck with me here. I'm trying to open it. So, this paragraph says that, okay, nobody warns you about these things, that life can change overnight. The idea of time can be ridiculed, and no one has control over how the universe plays its game of chess. 1 second, you're a 12-year-old, naive of the pains of life, living happily in a house filled with love in a country you've grown to call home. Then the next minute, you're packing your entire life into one bag. Everything you have known is lost. Then you become an unwilling spectator to the death of the only brother you've ever known and loved. That paragraph, Overall, Sha, I felt hurt and really sad for what happened.
Thank you, Blessing, for sharing. I can totally imagine. And finally, Jessica.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. So, honestly, when I read it, my first emotion, the emotion that stood out the most to me was complete shock. In fact, right up to the end of the book, I was like, please tell me this is fiction. And while I was thinking that, I just remembered, I kind of brought myself back to the reality that there are people that go through things like this and even worse. And it was really saddening, not going to lie. I was so surprised because even though I'd heard of the Ghana must go thing, I didn't the details in this story, hearing it from the perspective of someone who actually lived the life and honestly a wonderful read.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Obviously, the emotions is given collect like terms: grief, sadness, shock, surprise, literally. I would like to start the discourse or continue the discourse with one of the questions that was sent in via the link, and I found it interesting because it was also a major thought to me. That's why I'm starting with it. It reads, "It was so hard and heartbreaking to read. I was hoping it was fiction, but at last it isn't. I would say that I truly genuinely feel sorry for what we did to Ghana. The spillage, the wastage, the death, all of that was not necessary. So let's discuss this, please. How could neighbors suddenly turn? I think if you look around you, you see it everywhere, right? When we read about the Igbo massacre years ago in Nigeria, some of the people that slaughtered the Igbos were neighbors and friends. I need to understand if there is what's that thing called in the 100? What's that AI code? Is there some sort of chip that is put into people and all of a sudden they turn? This one literally you could see the writer saying someone I went to school with, someone I played with her child, suddenly acting possessed, like as they say in Christendom, possessed. People suddenly turn. Is it that they were never truly with you, or that your next and went to the back to tell the husband of something about something she did while they were in school, and the husband said, I already know, she already told me. So every day we see people on X feeling so betrayed. What do you have to say about this? Is it that they were never, their heart is never truly with you, or people can actually change when something overwhelms them? Divine, please.
Okay, I was not expecting to be called first. Good evening, everybody. So with regards to the article we read about how neighbors turned on them and friends. Personally, I think that maybe the hate was already there, but they just tried to tolerate them and pretended that everything was okay. Or sometimes we underrate how other people's ideas can quickly influence us if we're not careful. These people may have not had bad thoughts towards them, but maybe when that stuff still happening, some people come and tell them, you don't know these people are very bad people. You don't know these people have been the ones that the cause of our problems. Just putting bad thoughts, right? And then you begin to see them in a different light and begin to think that they are actually your problem. So personally, I think that such factors might have affected how wide neighbors. It's also maybe the reason why some in certain regions of Nigeria, why certain religions turn on the others, because they've been indoctrinated to think that those people are a problem to them. So I feel like it's the opinions of others that influence people sometimes. Thank you.
Absolutely, totally agree. I totally agree. Especially when you talk about indoctrination, how someone can be told that this person, how literally about what you hear, because people are nice until suddenly the broadcast was like they're taking your jobs, they're taking, and it's almost as if scales fell from their eyes and they're like, yeah, they are our enemies. When did they become the enemy? They have literally been here all along. Blessing, please, you can go ahead. You can go
Yeah,
ahead, Blessing. Blessing.
okay. That was one of the questions I had when I was reading this article. I asked myself, okay, is it that there is maybe the kind of chip that has been inserted into the human brain that makes you just turn around suddenly, like, against someone you once shared memories or certain things? Because this same thing happened in the movie I said I watched the other time. Hotel Rwanda, that's the name of the movie. Neighbors that you played with, they came to your house. You guys, that kind of, you had this community, this love, this, togetherness. And then an announcement was made. The following day, they just turned against you. I don't know, because really, I do not understand it.
So wild. I don't understand it either. Even though I understand the propaganda and how someone's thoughts could be rewired towards you, but I feel like part of the characteristics of being a human being is to have your own functioning brain and judge matters for yourself. And we're not talking about children here, we're talking about adults. They could present all the facts to you and you will judge by yourself. This person has never done this to me, or I've never really experienced. It's just like people that will say, oh, when I tell them that my sister got married and she stays with her husband in Gombe, they never let me hear the last of it. Oh, the north is dangerous. We just carry this information around. Oh, marriage is terrible. Oh, if nail chook you get titanus, put it in hot oil. We have this information around that if we begin to actually probe, you would wonder, have I ever experienced this? Have I ever experienced a terrible northerner? Are my Igbo friends that obsessed with money? Or people just believe information that they hear and they live their life based on it, literally. Can we have Jess, please? Thank you. Jess, please. Jessica.
Oh, sorry, I stepped out. Okay, so my opinion on this is, I feel like we shouldn't really underestimate the power of what, I don't know, belief, collective belief, I guess. And it's still quite weird because I'm not even going to say I'm trying to be self-righteous, but I don't think I would, in that kind of a situation, turn against somebody in that position. Because according to the article, some people, even people they went to church with, I mean, how do you turn against somebody you held that kind of a belief with? It's just weird. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think this is normal. Honestly.
Also, why the talk of religion detests a lot of group of Nigerians and Africans, because they have experienced hurt. They have come to realize that humanity is the first religion of the world. They have experienced some of the most vile things from people that are always covered in ceremonial regalias. So I'm not even surprised one bit about that. I found out that they are good. If you are a good person on the inside, it's not really about. Sometimes you would even meet people every day that they are not religious, but they are really kind. In it, please, in your bone.
Okay. Um, I would like to add to what Jessica said. I like to add to what Jessica said. We oftentimes underestimate mortality and the need for people to identify with their tribe um over the values of other people.
Yeah. So what basically happened? Why people turned on their neighbors, their friends who they were with was because of peer pressure. Maybe forces the Nigerian forces were telling people to report the Ghanaians that were living illegally in Nigeria at that time. And maybe there was a reward at that time. So that could have given people an incentive to report their neighbors, their friends, their anything. Aside from peer pressure, there was herd mentality. The need for people to just do as they are told can also that also contributed to the that also contributed to people turning against their friends as well as their tribe mentality. That's need for people to identify with their tribe or in these points their nationality over the friends, the neighbors that they over the friends and the neighbors that they you know I want to use pidgin, Jesus, that they rapport with, that they related with over time. So that really contributed to the Ghana must go, and it will still contribute. It has contributed to um many other wars like the Biafran War, and it will still contribute to many other things because human beings are human beings, and you know it's only a few people that will change their mindsets. Thank you.
That's totally right. I'm beginning to agree with Twitter folks that say that Nigeria was an experiment by Lord Logan and that the country was actually meant to be based on tribe because people stick more to tribe than nationality. So we might as well just go and be countries of tribes. I guess there's not enough kindness and humanity to choose person first over tribe and language. It's crazy. I honestly don't have a very concise explanation for how someone could just turn. I mean, look at half of a yellow sun now. That the I'm sorry, it's been a while. What are the two main characters' name? Not Kainene, her sister. It was her Hausa former boyfriend, Abi ex, that helped her to escape. Otherwise, she would have just been one of the people that died. He chose humanity first, and he kept saying this is not Islam. He hid her at the boot at the back of his car. It's stunning that people can just log off out of being human when when the tides turn. Anita, please.
Okay, hi everyone. So I feel like I have a slightly differing opinion. To some degree, I think that the Nigerians' reaction is quote unquote normal, especially if you consider the context of Ghana must go and everything. First of all, I feel like it's normal for people to first want to identify with something that is quote unquote like them. So tribalism makes sense under that lens because you're like, oh, these people are quote unquote like me. They are from this place. I'm also from this place. We share some kind of ancestral bond or whatever. It's common in a lot of regions of the world among a lot of people. It's why like a lot of people's first instinct is, oh, this is my family, whether given or chosen. This is my family. I want to protect them. It is normal, quote unquote normal, but it's still problematic. That aside, now to Ghana must go. The context of Ghana must go involves a lot of I think financial insecurity in Nigeria. Things were going very very badly in our whole economic what's the word I want to use? I don't know, but the economy of Nigeria was not very good at that time. Now look at it this way: you're saying to this group of people who are suffering financial insecurity that, hey, look, you see those aliens over there, these Ghanaians, these other people from Africa that are here in Nigeria right now. They are the reason why you are suffering this financial insecurity. They're the reason you don't have jobs, you don't have money. They're the reason this and this and this is so expensive. As much as you want to be like, oh, this is my friend, this is someone I've been with for a long time, the next question is, are these people really like the cause of these problems? There's like a lot of distrust. I feel like you can see that currently in America, and I think there was a point where they were deporting people, mass deporting people in Britain, where it was like, oh, these immigrants, these people who are from these other countries are the reason for our own financial insecurity. If we get rid of them, our finances will get better, our economy will improve. It's currently being used in America. So if you like kind of like look at these side by side, it feels like a very, very similar situation where the government was using these aliens to like quote aliens to blame like a lot of their national problems on. And so if you look at it through that lens, if you are told that the reason why you cannot eat 3 square meals a day is because of this person who was from Ghana, and you have like maybe 5 children in your house who are crying of hunger, your first instinct to be like, let's get these people out of here. You're not necessarily okay, you are being a bad person, but you feel like you are protecting your own in doing that. That's my opinion. I don't think it was a good thing that happened, but under the lens of what was happening around all these people, I feel like their reaction was understandable. And it doesn't really negate the fact that they cared for them in the beginning. But at the end of the day, if it's between you and someone else, you're always going to choose yourself. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Thank you so much, Anita. Finally, Chamaka.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Like, good evening. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Good evening. So it's very unfortunate what happened to. It's very very unfortunate what happened to Ghana. Brothers turning on brothers, like people that saw themselves as brothers, like your community, even someone you shared meals with. But I'm going to add to everything that I'm going to add to what people said, right? If we want to talk about Ghana must go, we have to put some reference to Nigeria must go. Though it's not the name there, like Ghana must go back. So in 1969, right, Ghana had this. Before 1969, Ghana opened its door to West African. They were like, if you want to invest, if you want to be like we are stable now. You can come and invest. You can come and what did they even say again? Oh, you can come and invest. You can come and grow your family. Blah 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 blah. We're brothers. We're welcoming and whatnot. So sorry, 3 minutes, right? I'm going to fit everything in 3 minutes. They said they welcomed West Africans to come and invest. A majority of those West Africans were Nigerians, right? So at a point, 1969, they brought this policy that Nigerians were taking their jobs, and it's because of the way that we are investing that the locals do not have any jobs again. What did they do? They did a purging. When I mean purging, it was a very violent purging. People left without their businesses. People were broke. People came back people died. People came back without even having anything to fall on, right? So fast forward to 1983 when the Ghana Must Go movement happened. Now, I don't know his name again. He made reference when he wanted to support Ghana. Nigeria was facing a very bad political crisis and then economical crisis then. So what he did was he laid reference why they started turning on each other was he made reference to 1969 purging that we were not the first people to do this. The first people to do this were actually Ghanaians. So we are returning the favor. It was like that. But media now, they're not going to they're not going to put it in the light that it was reciprocal, right? So that was what even gave birth to the whole Ghana Must Go movement, and it's very very sad that something like that happens, because it's very unfortunate even to the Nigerians that experience it, to the Ghanaians that experience it. It's very sad to wake up one morning and you lose everything. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Maka. In fact, what you just said actually is our next discourse. So I'm just going to post it because it's a bit long, and I'm going to post two together so that we can talk about them together because they are sort of similar. So someone sent to the link. Wikipedia show as if feel properly ashamed of my country as I saw this. Sorry, I cut out the test. Many of the migrants had been attracted to Nigeria because of the 1970s oil boom, but by 1983 the economy had weakened. Shadari's author was an alleged response to the religious disturbances that had engulfed part of the country in 1918 under the Kano riots. 1981. Prior to 1983, the expulsions of immigrants had occurred several times in West Africa for various reasons. These include Ghana's deportation of Nigeria in 1954 and 1969, and Togo's deportation of nationals from Cote d'Ivoire, Dahomey, and Nigeria in 1958. So this depends. Says all I got out of this was intense shame that this happened in this useless country. Second thought says, although, if I may say this, before Ghana must go in 1969, Ghana did it first Nigeria. They forcefully evicted over 3 million Nigerians, took and seized their property, and set the other properties ablaze. But I would like us to now discuss on this person's second school of thought. Is it worth it boils back down to humanity. Okay, they did it first, who did it first? People died. Is it a time to say who did it first or who didn't do it first? Both times it happened, whether to Ghana or to Nigeria, I think we can all agree that it was wrong and unnecessary, right? Even if no one wants their land to be overrun with outsiders, but at least we could all have been way more civil in the eviction. The fact that people died is just low and primitive. I mean, Europeans till now still have the audacity to call us primitive. And it's because of histories and even repeated histories like this one. So what's your take? Could we have been a bigger person and be more civil? Because the person that experienced loss really doesn't care who did it first. The person that experienced loss doesn't want to know the history of both sides. All they know is that their father never came back. Their brother was squashed to death. Oh my God. When I read that part, I said, Nabas is back again with the trauma, the books that leave you worse than they met you. It was hard to picture. So humanity, blood that was spilled, really want to know if it was in retaliation or were justified. Won't you agree with me that no part was justified? Won't you agree that we could have literally like just been more civil with us? At least it will show Ghana that we are better. Shalaka, please say something.
I'm going to stop once again. So I do not think that tribalism and racism in Africa is a matter of showing. It was a very unfortunate thing that he died, right? But it was that I'm not justifying it, but it was as if to say, oh, this is the pain we felt and everything. And Africa as a whole has a long way to go when it comes to colorism, tribalism, and racism, because we have not even, like, okay, I don't know how many people watched the World Cup, right? And the whole mess that Morocco did. And now they are blaming Black Africans that we were using juju. I'm like, which juju? That's why you kept stealing the towels and using throwing banana on the blacks and telling them, that we should AFCON. You were throwing banana on the blacks, making monkey sounds, and you know that like they are literally Africans and they are not primitive in any way. So it is not a matter of justification, it's a matter of fear. I'm going to say fear, scarcity, and I don't even know how to put it, but yeah.
I think I totally get you. There seems to be almost something in every human that hits rock bottom and no longer become human. Like when T-Bag ate that Mexican, literally ate a human being. No, that was T-Bag. Everybody knows T-Bag. It was nasty and a killer. But have you guys read that story? I'm trying to remember where I stumbled on it, where some sailors went to explore land and explore gold, and something happened and they had to stay several months longer than they planned. They ran out of food and started casting lots to eat one another. So I think when emotions are so high, people stop being people. But it wasn't that high in this regard. Anyway, let's just move to the next question. It's an interesting one. This person says, one thing that seems to be in every African is the reluctance of Africans in general to do anything or make a move until it is dire and urgent, no matter the duration they had to do it all along. So not to justify in any way the evils that happened, but why is it? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. In school, Nobody submits anything. Nobody till I remember my cousin coming to knock on my hostel door around 2 a.m. Please, HOD said that we must submit. Guess what? We had we had 3 weeks to do that thesis. Why is it? Because the Ghanaian government sent airplanes. A lot of things could have been avoided if the was it 1 or 2 weeks that was given. People actually started doing it from that first time. What causes it? Do you think it is just last minute syndrome? Or do you think that people never actually believe that stuff is going to happen anyway? Like when they said they will evict all of us from exam hall, and they said, who will evict us if we want our exam fee? I still remember that course. Until this man came inside the brain and evicted everybody, started begging. So is it that it's just something wired in our minds that they're not going to do what they say because of constant disappointment anyway? When has government ever kept their word? Or it's just a laziness that's generally associated with Africa. I wouldn't exactly call it laziness because the subject is a sensitive one. But why is it that when Chagari said move, start moving now, nobody would have died. There would have been no stampede. When they brought the airplane at the last minute, they looked for who to blame. In your please.
Uh, Me, I feel as if like some of the Ghanaians do not take it serious, and that it was hard to like leave everything behind. They already. I think it was said in the article. How can you leave everything, pack all your properties? You can't. That's what the author said. You can't. It was hard. It was hard for like these people to leave everything behind. I think that's what contributed to them not leaving early. And then another thing is that Nigerians will never do something early, and no due process at all. There's no due process in this country. If they wanted to do the deportation, they would have done it in a way that won't bring so much loss. So it's on the government, and it's on the government to create a process that is easy and smooth and welcoming for everybody, to so that people can live in peace instead of all that chaos. So it was on the government to provide that, but they did not, because it's Nigeria and Nigeria will do Nigerian things. Aside from that, some of the Ghanaians were reluctant to leave because they couldn't leave everything that they built, and I kind of understand it. Yeah.
It's true though. Like my hostel back then, Manuel. Until after 4 weeks, so to evict the hostel. Until this people came to room by room, they came to 200 cities, 200 cities. I started spraying because they told us to evict the hostel so they can fumigate. I started freeing fumigates. Nobody moved though. But then, if you think about it on the aspect of the students, how can you tell people to move in the midst of an exam? So it's on the government, but it's also stylishly on the people. But like you said, I think they didn't really believe that such a thing would happen. Divine, please.
Okay. From my own perspective, I think that in those days, information sharing was not really very effective. You could only get accurate information from radios. It wasn't everybody that had access to them, or it wasn't every time you were listening to it. And what you could hear were only just rumors, and you just take them as rumors. And you know how rumors spread. There'll be like 40% of the truth, and then the rest is just an exaggeration. So I think that could have contributed to the way they were laid back, right? And it's not even now. I think government has a problem of sensitization. Even now, we still have that issue. Like when this new tax law was passed and was to be implemented this January, knowing that this law is something that would cause a lot of backlash from the public, the government would have started sensitization, telling the public what this law is about, how it will affect how it will affect company, but they just left it, and then there was just so many misinformation spreading around. So I think that could have contributed to why they were laid back, because they didn't, like, I think from what I read from this thing, they were not aware that there was a free transportation to carry them. They didn't even know. So maybe that was what happened.
I totally agree. I 100% agree. Just like when the new note came out, nothing that we did not hear. Someone even came to my mom's mama shop and said that they said they will arrest anybody they find with the old note. Someone said go and burn it. So you're right. Misinformation must have greatly contributed. Chamaka, please.
They have said everything I wanted to say. Yes, misinformation. That was the cocoa. Because what do you mean you are hearing that, oh, if you don't leave, that they're going to burn you, and here you should stay, or thought they think they were in denial at work. They leave it to happen. 2, they were like, even if it happened, they will miss us. 3, when it not happened, the acceptance was the death that occurred and everything. So it's a sad event, and they still did not learn from that event, honestly, because if they did learn from the event, they would not start this new Nigeria must go that they are doing again. But we never do learn.
As per thank you so much, everyone. Very, very insightful, very, very eye-opening. Misinformation contributed greatly. This next how do you think the absence of history affects us? Who took history as a subject in secondary school? If you didn't do history, how do you think it affects you today? And if you did history, how is it affecting you today? What do you think the cost of being blind to our history is? Because, okay, what did you feel after reading this? We have addressed it. Because I look at everyone saying that they didn't really know. Please, but B stream 2 of this call, we are yearning, our boys pants after your voices. It would make my night if you speak. Let me call out names. Let me be the typical Nigerian and call out names. Our friend Magdalene Etsini, Soma Vertical, Mary Uzoma, and the very person of Abdul. Please speak. But let me hear the people who
hitting each other like mad. Thank you.
small one where we sabi see the war. Let me call Jessica because
Chamaka just said, I think that's her name. Sunset in Biafra and Half of a Yellow Sun, and I came to know some of the things. Of course, Half of a Yellow Sun is not actually like a true picture, but it did depict a lot of at the time. There was so much anger in me, nobody to ask, and just getting this information from that book at the time. I was already out of secondary school. It was so annoying. I would look at the people around me and I was like, so if something happens now, these people will turn on me and do things to me. Do you get? And I have a lot of people that are not my tribe around me. Of course, I did not breed any kind of hate, but I feel like that's the reason why the government does not want the young people to know about these things. They don't want these ugly truths to be out there in our faces. They don't want to answer questions, like she said. But the fact is that we have to face these things so that we can move on from it. We have to learn it. We have to know what happened. And if they don't bring it out in schools, we will get this information one way or the other. People that will search for the information will search for it, and we'll still get it. We'll still spread it, especially now in the Twitter age and social media age. We'll get this information. It will spread. It will go everywhere. People will see it. So it's important that we actually learn this things. Thank you.
it's already happening, Seth. Almost everything I know about Nigeria is from X. And the war, oh my goodness, the banter. Maybe you guys are on the chill side of X, I am on the path of where they up. Everyday bickering, everyday war. And it's mostly because of this history. Divine, please.
Okay, I actually did a bit of history in secondary school. That it was a really really interesting subject. Like our classes were always full, but when it was time to write exams, you don't see anybody, and they just my school discontinued it because the exams were quite were quite challenging, and nobody wanted to pick history like as a subject. But it was an interesting subject, and I think that history should be back in Nigerian classrooms because if you don't, I don't think there's any history that has only the good side. History is good and bad. So you cannot say because of the bad you'd just dump history. History is very important. Recently I started following some handles on Instagram and TikTok that teach about African history, and it's so enlightening because I feel like if we were taught history as like this generation, where would be now? I don't think it would be the same, not be in the same situation as we are now, or even if we're in the same situation, would have a better advantage. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but because we don't know these things, it's almost like education. Because we don't know these things, we don't know how they affect us. That's why we are still laid back. We still allow our country to be in the same. We are still allowing those things that have been our problems to continue to be our problems. But if we know from our history that, oh, this is not how it was, or this is how it was, would be able to change some things from this is what I think. So I think that history should be brought back to classrooms to teach history. It's very important to know your roots. There are some facts you get to find out about Africa, you would be enraged, like you'll be so annoyed that up to today, instead of to be called the names that were given to it by the locals, they are now called by the names given to it by people that just came. It's so annoying. So I think history should be brought back. Please let us know our roots. Let us know the good and the bad. Let us know. Let us know. If it is going to cause problem, let the problem come and we'll deal with it once and for all. So, thank you.
Thank you. Divine, permit me to say that some of those groups we are following are most likely euphemizing it. Africa's history is dark. It's more that I've probed into. I said, I beg, mental health. Nothing I not read. Both from the whites to the blacks to the browns and towards each other. There's not too much of good. Especially when you date far back history, not the two recent ones. Maybe that's why it's avoided. But I agree with you. The power of choice makes you a holistic human being. Let me know if your mother killed my father, so that I'll know if I'm being the bigger person. And at least let me know. Let me say, this is what happened. I choose to respond this way. You don't just hide it. I agree to an extent. Time is up. Thank you so much for all your points. I just have one last thought that someone shared to the link. It says, do you think Africa has a long way to go? Many years later, is it much better? Look around you and see the rivalry still among sovereign African nations. Okay, Chamaka, I'll call you up right after this, please. How far are we still from unity? Can the revolutionary Africa of our dreams still happen? I remember when I was in either 17 or 18, I had this favorite song that I used to show on channels. Africa, oh, Africa, hey, Majimbo, Africa, 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 le. And I loved it. Every day I would be singing it. You know, when you are still innocent, you believe in Nigeria, you believe in Africa. We're gonna be one. Namibia, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Nigeria, one big happy family. Until you grow up and you're like, this is never gonna work. Damn, this is not gonna work. Do you think it's ever gonna work? Do you think that truly Africa will unite against the foreign foes, and we're gonna rise up one day and have our own nukes, and we'll say that anybody that comes close to Africa will nuke them? Are we ever gonna be one, or it's still gonna take 3 or 4 more generations? Final thoughts, Chamaka, please.
Thank you very much. First of all, we know that's not going to happen. We are still very, very we have not even started the journey. Do you understand? It's a problem when you've started and you're like, oh, it's still a long way to go. That way you have not even started the journey because they are still as primitive as ever. They still like so much hate for people that are not their kin. And when they even come to that their kin, there's so much hate for people that are not like their insider. We have a lot of segregations in Africa, and it is very, very it's very, very sad to watch. Imagine, I don't even know how Lord Lugard had it in his amazing brain that he's going to bring three strong nations that hated themselves so much into one Nigeria. I don't even know how he thought that was like, you know what, this is the perfect plan. I'm going to execute this. And I'm still going to make reference to that Morocco because I watched Morocco, the AFCON Senegal and Morocco ball and Kiniko. That's it gave me high blood pressure. High blood legit pressure because Moroccans, forget all those their white color and their Sahara and they're very fine, showing you they are very, very primitive. They are very, very primitive, and it's very, very sad. And there's this case about a lady that was just rescued from Egypt, and mind you, Egypt is in Africa, but because she had a black skin, she was being groomed so that they will harvest her kidney and use it for their grandfather that is like 90 something. And you do this to, if we have started the journey, we'll be like, oh, we have a long way to go. We have not started. Thank you all so much.
I agree with Inyo. Nigeria, maybe for other African countries, but you put it successively, Chamaka. You say that they brought 3 nations together. Okay, maybe including Middle Belt, 4. Like, I don't know if it was deliberately set up not to work. People identify with their tribe. My dad told me the story of a police officer long ago when he was a child, and my dad is currently 17, that someone from the village went to steal. Was it North or East? There happened to be an Igbo police officer. So the guy wanted to run and jump fence. All his 3 compatriots had fled, just remaining him. So when he saw that he couldn't, he now spoke Igbo. He said, hey, Tom Shila, and he spoke Imo dialect. The police officer that was chasing them now came and told him, Ijama is Oshi, but Imakoga about fence. That means, so you know how to steal, but you won't know how to climb fence. Oh yeah, go. Now gave him a push, put him on his shoulder, and he climbed across the fence. A police officer that was chasing them. But if he got there and he was an Hausa man or a Yoruba man, he would deal with him. I feel like I share. I never knew I would come here where I would share Nnamdi Kanu's sentiments. But everybody should go, I beg. It's not working. Divine, please.
Okay, Chiamaka and I are just sharing the same opinions. Africa has a long way to go. We're still on a long thing. Imagine that Nigeria is still this far behind and we still claim, although we are still living in fact, do we even have glory? They are still saying that Nigeria is the giant of Africa, but our giant don't collapse since we really have a long way to go. And it's so sad how moving away from Nigeria and tribalism, even among African nations, there's still racism. And what is annoying is that for a case study, South Africa, they are not angry about their oppressors, how the white people came and took their land. It's Nigerians that are their problem. It's Nigerians that are their problem. Why? Like, it's just I don't think Africa really has a long way to go. Another thing is corruption. African leaders are so corrupt. I think it's just a few African countries that are breaking free from the hold these powerful countries have on them. And even though they are facing so much opposition, they are still trying their best. But because of how corrupt the hold that these countries have on them is because of their corruption. Because if they are not corrupt, they would not have anything on them. But corruption has made them puppets in the hands of these countries, and it's so sad. It's so sad. It's really, really sad. Africa has a long way to go. But Nigeria owns. I don't know about people that still live in this country.
As I think that almost all the Nigerians as enemy. maybe Namibians, Tanzanians could vibe small. Once is Nigeria. I'm not saying what did we do, and I remember the word dragging on X, doing every AFCON or every match or whatever. So South Africans are vile towards Nigerians. They are boiling. My goodness, the degree of anger you see in their tweets. Anyway, this has successfully, I think we're ending it on a good note. We started with Africa and what Ghana did to Nigeria, what Nigeria did to Ghana. Thank you so much for all your contributions. We all like it was a heartbreaking read. I could never have imagined that her brother died that way. As a matter of fact, at first I thought he was a baby, till she later mentioned that he was 4. He was even old enough to really feel it. Oh my God. Is there a worse death? Maybe drowning, but to be stampeded to death and watched by mother, father, sister. That lady, you can never tell her anything about Nigeria that she will accept. So I think that we have so much trauma amongst ourselves to ever be unified. But I hope and long for it one day, Sha. I was an emergency host, so pardon whatever lapses and incontingencies that occurred during the, I don't say broadcast, during the review. I really hope that I tried. Thank you for joining, and see each and every one of us at our next read. Hopefully it's a real book this time. It's about time, right? 200 pages and above. Have a lovely evening. I do intend to have a lovely evening. I have a delicious plate of afang and eba waiting for me. Don't say it's late. This is the hate in Africa we're talking about. Don't say it's too late to eat such a meal. Thank you. I love you, boys and girls. Muchacha.
Don't forget to hit the follow button and tap on the notification icon to stay updated. That's all for today's episode. To join our book club or stay updated on future discussions, follow us on Instagram and X at Jollof Book Club, Jollof with a double F. And thank you so much for listening.